and or whatever you want to call it.
I'm right with Gab where right away you guys start playing the Nickelback because it was a powerful trailer. Very powerful trailer, full of action. As soon as I saw Favreau in it, I'm like, it's gold. It's gold. Take it.
You don't
take
fail.
my money.
You don't fail. I literally was blasting it last night, and I was like, and they say like, just the like for like an hour. The thing got me so amped on Spider-Man.
It was pretty chill.
Yeah,
it wasn't like out of this world, but it was chill.
Suck my ass. That was the most Spider-Man-ish Spider-Man trailer I've ever seen.
It was a good trailer.
I got some Tobey Maguire vibes from that shit. That shit was nice.
It was.
You know what?
Nice.
It did. It did have Tobey Maguire vibes. It had that. It had because the first two Spider-Man movies didn't feel like Spider-Man movies. This one actually feels like it has that kind of like how much it sucks to be Spider-Man, which is like the definition of that character. Like it just sucks to be this superhero. And that's the appeal to him. Like, I just saved a whole bus of people, but I just got evicted from my apartment for doing so because I didn't go to work and I got fired. Yeah. Like, that's what it means to be Spider-Man. And you can see there's like that struggle of it in this movie. And that's what I want. I want the Peter Parker that's smoking a cigarette and throwing the scotch. Just fucking shit.
Fuck my life.
That's why I'm pumped for this one. I hope it gives me that all that vibes.
Can you both lower the audio from your headphones? So like you guys can enough so that you can still hear us, but just lower it's like what you're hearing inside.
Mine, yeah.
Just lower enough because I can hear. I think Fico, I can hear yours coming out of your headphones in your mic.
Oh, is that what it was? What I was hearing last week.
Just lower it. Just lower it a little bit so that you can hear it, and then that way we don't hear it like out in the background.
So that's it.
Right there, how you have it is very good. If you can hear me, then I can't hear the feedback.
I think we're okay. If you hear me a little bit clearer. All right, nice. All right.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. I got you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right there's good.
Nice.
Yeah, right there's good. And there's no bounce back either. Perfect. All right, awesome. Okay. Welcome to the show.
Wow.
We are here. We are live. Fixing technical difficulties live as they come. Because that's what we do. We are proactive here. We are proactive. We are smart. And we get things done. Welcome to the show. This is episode 102 of the Small Screen Society.
What up?
I'm Gab Angelo. Sup, guys? What's going on?
Hello. Good evening.
Action-packed show today.
Action-packed. We got a full slate. This week.
As we do every week.
Yeah,
but
as we do every week, we make sure it happens.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah, of course. I'm sweating currently in my room because the AC is off and the heat is blasting at full blast. This apartment does not allow us to control the heat. So, yeah. So it's basically once October 31st hit, or maybe October 15th, it was full blast heat. And then we're not going to have a stoppage of that until February or March. Yeah. Maybe probably March, but it's bad. So there's every once in a while it just gets so hot that I have to literally turn on the AC to combat the heat.
Doesn't sound good.
But here's where we are.
That doesn't sound very.
Yeah, but here's where we are. It's fine. I will sweat through it.
Rhino it
out. Gab, lead us off. Tell us what we're doing today. Tell us where to go. Lead us.
Very well, oh Capitan. Let's start a little heavier, and then we'll lean into the funner stuff.
Okay. I like that.
We have a full tank of gas. We have our most energy right now, so I say we start with a little. So I'm thinking about a little place warm. I think a little place called Passing.
Okay.
So let's review Passing, latest Netflix film.
Yes.
Getting some buzz. I'm hearing a little bit of award buzz for some of these cast members, directing. black and white film. Tessa Thompson is the name of the lead actress in this movie. I know her from the MCU, who plays Valkyrie. Yep. This is my first time seeing her in like a dramatic role. Killed it. But essentially, before we go into breaking it down, it's a black and white film told in the year 1929, based on a novella that released in around this time as well. So it focuses on a young black woman who is married to a doctor, has 2 beautiful children, living in New York. I believe she lives in Harlem.
Yeah, Harlem.
Who runs into an old friend who is passing as white in her personal life and is married to a white man who doesn't know that she is. And the film embarks on this never a boil, but like this simmering tension of emotion and reflection between for the character for Tessa Thompson's character named Irene, I believe, and her relationship and the issues that are presented to her that rise up with her through her relationship to her friend
Claire,
played
by Ruth
Negga
or Niga. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah. And apologies. That's our story. I guess
not COVID. Not COVID.
Not COVID. I had a cold. It's not COVID.
Wow.
It just the movie took the wind out of me, I guess. I'll start.
Sure.
Look, I will say I was a little hesitant about pressing play once I heard when I knew what the
source material
was going to focus around. It is like a racial story, but it's not a societal racial story. Right. It's a psychological racial story, right. Which I think which helped me get on board and embrace it. Not that I have anything against projects that talk about race. It's just that they can be a little emotionally taxing. And this one, for the most part, even though it was a very emotional movie, I felt it more personable, and because it was such like a small microcosm of a situation taking place mostly in Irene's house, her relationship with her husband, her one-on-one relationship with Claire, and these long pauses of silence where you're kind of left to Irene's thoughts and thus your own about what's going on. There were parts of the movie where I was confused, and I think that was intentional. Mm-hmm. For example, that friction between her and Claire, I'm like, is it envy? Is it hatred? Is it sexual? Is it love? Like, there's so many ways to interpret what's happening there. And even her relationship to her husband, where I played off of a little bit as well, because I'm like, there's such awkwardness. I'm like, are you awkward with your husband right now because you're kind of wanting to bang your friend? Yeah. Or are you awkward with your husband because you guys just have a disagreement about other things that are going? So it's the movie's never didactic and really telling you what to believe or think, but especially towards the end. And I just found that to be a breath of fresh air in this movie, because you know me, I like it when something doesn't tell its audience what to think. I like where you're able to just sit with it, interpret on your own, get the feel for what you're thinking. I think the movie did a fantastic job about talking about the psychological effects when it comes to the construct of race. Clearly the husband didn't know that his wife was black. Irene was trying to, at the very beginning of the movie, I had to go back and rewatch because I was a little confused about the intro, but she was trying to she was trying to pass to be white when she went where she went, which wasn't clear to me. And that just goes to further show how race it's not real. It's something that we've made up. And yet it has very real consequences, especially in the lives of these two women. You have Claire wanting to have her white and eat it too. Mm-hmm. No, sorry. It's more. I know it's more of wanting to have her black and her white too.
Came with
I think that's more like
white,
what she's
but then
trying
still
to
have
do.
like her culture and everything of being black, like with it. That was a very
Correct.
heavy kind of concept to kind of like navigate through.
Right. Yeah.
And I just I appreciated that depiction and seeing it in Irene, where there probably was jealousy, and there was, because maybe she wouldn't have had as easy of a time passing if she tried to do it more regularly, right? So if you could have the option to live that way, especially in that time, wouldn't you?
Right.
And so I think that maybe there's that friction between the two of them. I'll let you guys go. I mean, I have a lot of thoughts about this, but
you touched on, I think one of the words that you used that really, I think, sums it up for me was it's a lot of interpretation that goes on in this movie. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you basically kind of have to figure.
You can bring your mic a little. Bring your mic a little bit closer.
Perfect. Yeah, no, there's a lot of interpretation in this film. Good. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you kind of have to be like, well, does it mean this? Does it mean that? Which I really, like you said, I like to enjoy stuff like that because it kind of keeps you on your toes.
Right.
But besides I loved the way they shot the movie in black and white. Like, even though it was black and white, it was so bright and and vivid. One thing that I really enjoyed was the music in it. A lot of like that jazz, soulful type stuff that really kind of kept like it was either upbeat or like kind of like showed you a little bit of the tension that was going on. Like you said, it was like a pot of water that was just boiling, and when was it going to boil over? There was a lot of tension in the film. Like there's that scene with like when the letter that she gets, how that's could be interpreted two ways. From the husband's point of view, it's one way. From I believe it was Irene's point of view, totally different. So like I really like that touch, and obviously we're on the outside, so we know the true intention of it. And then a lot of the conversations and the dialogue in this movie, for a book that's written in the late 20s, still has a lot of profound meaning now. Like a lot of that dialogue at times it's very it's very poignant. It's sometimes it's a little uncomfortable, but like it's just so well acted and so well delivered that it really, I think that's what really made the film for me. It was like a lot of just really great dialogue, a lot of just like conversation that it's crazy because again, the book's written in the 20s and like we're seeing a lot of the same things happening now. So it's crazy how, those similarities work out that way.
Yeah.
And then the ending, I don't know how deep into that ending that we want to get, but there's obviously 3 different scenarios at play there. And I'm almost
right.
Yeah, I was gonna say
either.
So it's either
go ahead.
It's either
wait, list them out.
Pushes her because he's just so irate that he just found out that the woman that he loves is a black woman. Which, okay, did Irene kind of give her a little shove out of the window? Maybe trying to do her a favor, we'll say, because she knows that her life's going to be completely altered now. Claire's life's going to be completely altered now that John knows that she's not a white woman. Or did... Or jealousy, yeah, sure.
Or jealousy?
You see Irene's hand go? Did Claire just be like, what, this is a good ticket out, and just take herself out? Because it's almost like...
Right.
Because, John goes to grab her at the end when she's about to fall out that window. John goes to grab her, and it's almost like she eludes it in a way.
Yeah.
And did she do that because she knows there's no going back now?
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to be... The man that she was in love with, or that she was with, now is going to be done with her because he knows she's a black woman. The friends and the lifestyle that she lived, that's not going to happen anymore because... They're gonna be like, oh no, we can't be assimilating with a black woman, no way. And then is she thinking is the black community that I kind of left and turned my back on going to even accept me again? So there's a lot of I was fumbling over those three things in my head. I don't think it's John. I want to put that out there. I don't think John's the one that pushes her out, because when the cops come and no one's like pointing fingers, he did it. He like, there's none of that. So I don't know. I'm curious to hear what you. Yeah, that's not going to get taken.
Well, also black people blaming a white man.
Well, I mean, you already saw the reaction of the cops, because the husband, the husband of Irene was like, he lunged for her, and the cops were like, no one else is thinking that, no one else is doing that.
Exactly.
The cops were already immediately on the white guy's side.
Yeah.
So like
the law's on the side.
It wasn't until Irene came out and was like, he didn't push her, that the husband kind of backed off of it. But like, the cops at no point were going to side.
You knew
with
that was it, right?
Like that's just how we knew that was going to happen.
I was curious about how you guys interpreted it. Really,
I want to say just real quickly, I do think that the community would have taken her, because they were taking her. I would say, like, she was welcome to the parties, to everything. Like, I think there was an embraciveness of it. Colorism is real. I think she's a light-skinned black woman, and as things goes to show, we know how that works. So I think that the better question in that situation is, would that have been enough for her?
Right. I think it's all really in her head at that point.
In her head at that point, because if she's so used to privilege and having everything she wants and having the freedom that comes with whiteness, would she accept a world where she no longer has it?
Okay.
I'm gonna say Irene did it.
Okay.
My mind's I don't, because when my first instinct seeing it is that I didn't see that hand go out. I saw that hand go out and back.
I almost feel like I see a gap between the hand and Claire, and that's why I think like Claire's like
there was a little bit of a gap. There was a little bit of a gap.
I thought I saw some cupping. I thought I saw like bobbage. I thought I saw some of that action.
Again, that's like I think that's
some of that motion. There was some of that motion.
Movies, again, like it's so much of like it's kind of on your interpretation of it. I don't know if the author ever came out and said what actually happened. That'd be kind of cool. Do we have a producer in the room today?
Or
I hope not.
Or if the book even depicts the ending like this. I don't know. But
it's a novella, so it's very short. Right. So it might be worth picking up and giving a read. Right. Yeah, because I hope not. Ramel, what are your thoughts?
Okay, so obviously from a visual standpoint, very well done. I don't normally like new age black and white movies. I like black and white movies that are black and white movies from back in the day, but newer movies doing black and white, I'm not always a fan of, but this one was done very well. Yeah. Acting was superb. Again, this is one of those movies where, like you guys have been mentioning, it's a lot of building up tension, but never really exploding until the very second that John gets mad. But even then, is his name John? Yeah, John.
It's John, yeah.
Even then, it's like not really like an explosion to me. It's just like, okay, this is the reaction that we're expecting because he found out. But a couple. I'm not going to really touch too much on like the plot and everything because you guys kind of talked about that. I'm going to just kind of talk about some impactful things that I saw. Obviously, the first moment. Where two girls see each other, there's no words whatsoever. It's like the first scene of the movie, and you just see Irene staring at this girl staring it back, but they're basically like just acting with their eyes, which is a really really well done scene because I think by that point when you realize Irene knows who that is, and Claire knows who Irene is. But they're kind of like just talking they're kind of like telling each other, I don't know if I want to talk to you. You're in a different kind of scenario than I am, without really saying it. And I thought was really awesome, really well acted. the thing about passing is something that I knew about, but I didn't ever. It wasn't ever something that, like, because none of us are black here. Like, we don't know this type of thing, and this isn't part of our culture. I mean, for some Latinos, I guess you could kind of say that's also,
but it's a real concept. It is an actual it's a construct. Thing, yes. It's a construct because in many Latinos, you hear it from from the Dominican perspective, of say, "I'm not black, I'm Dominican."
Right.
There's
that.
Like, you're black.
There's that like loss of identity, but then also like there's a group of people that will look at you and give you the pass. So it's not even necessarily that like you're the one that is passing yourself off as something else. Weird. It's the entire group that you're passing with is the one that's giving you the pass. So like white people, for example, in one scenario would give that one black person a pass because they think that, but the black person, you know what I mean? So this whole thing was just really interesting to me, especially to see it in this kind of scenario.
You're a little frozen.
Did my camera freeze?
Yeah.
Crap. All right, I'm coming back. Hold on.
Slight movement.
Crap.
We can hear you though.
Hold on.
What happened?
I mean, that's
it's
really
a very
matters,
unflattering face that you're making
the issue
right now.
Here is that now I don't know why. God darn it! All right, let me just.
I can take it all out.
No. So that I felt that part of the movie was interesting, the whole passing thing, because it was something that I had never really seen before, especially on TV. And then I think really it's the layers of the movie. It's like you guys had mentioned before. You don't know what Irene's intentions are, what she's thinking. You think it's possible that she's maybe in love with Claire. There's possibility that she's jealous of Claire. There's the idea that we are led to believe that the husband is cheating on Irene with Claire, or thinking about it, but we also don't know, and it's possible that all of this what's the word? Paranoia is created in Irene's own head because of her anger towards Claire, because either she's jealous of Claire or because of or she's actually in love with her. She's the one that's in love with her. So it's all these things that are building up. And then of course the last thing that I'll mention is the very, very rough scene when she meets John for the first time. And that's like, you can't watch the movie and not notice that glaring scene, because it's just so like uncomfortable and cringe. Because you're just like,
the best way of saying is uncomfortable.
Because this whole time you're thinking, okay, this looks like a normal situation, like, yeah, it's weird that he thinks that she's white, but then that nickname hits and you're like, there it is. There it is. Then as soon as that happens, then at that point I kind of go, okay, this isn't going to end here. It was at that point where I realized, I think that's going to be something that's going to happen, that's going to potentially come into play later in the story,
pop up again.
Where she at some point is going to get snitched out, or someone's going to find out, she's going to find out that she's actually black, and then that's going to shit the fan. So and then lastly, and I'll end with this, at the end, I do not think that John pushed her. I do not think that Irene pushed her, and I also don't think that Claire jumped herself. I think that it was. I think that it was the boring version. I think is what it was, and I think it was an accident, and that
a freak accident.
it just, all of the things led to that point, and it was an accident. And now you've got Irene, who has to now internalize that, figure out how she's going to react to that. What's John going to do? Like, for me, it's the aftermath of what's John going to do. He's got a kid now with a black woman that he didn't know he had. So it's just like, it's an accident that now has repercussions, that are also things to think about after the fact. That poor kid is now going to have a father that probably is going to resent them and hate the kid. And that's just, we don't know, you know. But great movie. I thought it was a really good movie, and I was, you know, intrigued. It was a lot of acting, a lot of dialogue, a lot of cryptic and like foreshadowing in like the visuals. But the wind, the like when she drops the pot, she cracks the pot. The crack in the ceiling. Also, is Irene an alcoholic? There's a point where her hand shaking, and it's because she's now, the maid isn't there, so she has to do the work at the house. So is she an alcoholic? Has she been an alcoholic this whole time because she hates her own life?
Ooh,
you know what I mean? So it's just like, these are a lot of things that are happening that, if you're paying attention, are kind of like telling you what's going on. And I like that. I like that movie, even though it's not action packed. It's just like little things that you pay attention, and it's good acting. So
it's cinema.
It's just really good. It's just really good.
It's just good cinema. It's good.
It's an hour and a half movie. Not this big production. Great. This whole big thing. It's, you know, it's a really good hour and a half, especially on an interesting topic like this. But yeah, so,
scores.
9 out of 10. It's a really good movie. I'm going to recommend it to anybody who I think would like that kind of stuff.
And it's a powerful conversation starter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Vico?
I'm going to give it an 8. Sole purpose, you know, rewatchability for me is a pretty big thing. That's the only thing I can't see myself doing, is like rewatching going back to this one a few times.
It's heavy. It's not really a movie that's like a...
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be like a happy-go-lucky, like, romp through the... No. But everything else, I mean, it really is just a really good film. It's well acted, great writing, great shooting, good score. So yeah, definitely an 8.
I'm gonna give passing. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
For what it is, because I love books and book clubs, and I think this is just a perfect movie for like a movie club.
Right.
That's something that you can see, digest, much like a book, and capture the nuances and have thought-provoking conversations. So that's where the rewatchability of it is for me. Not by myself. I agree. I wouldn't watch it by myself. But if I could see, if there's a way to see it with other people interested in having those conversations, I think it's a fantastic movie for that. And what it sets out to do, it just does fucking masterfully. 10 out of 10.
Movie club. I know you mentioned movie club. Should we start?
Should we do a movie club?
Should we like do like a movie club thing where we maybe have like once a month or whatever, we like tell everybody, whoever's following us, hey, watch this movie, and then like we're just going to discuss the movie that everybody knows we're going to watch, and it can be like old cinema, you know, or like whatever, just like classics, like we used to do back in COVID. In pandemic period. Yeah,
when we start themed episodes, I'd love to do a movie club.
Yeah.
Virtual movie club.
We'll just do like a separate thing from our episodes. We'll just like, this is on this date, we're going to discuss this movie, and then like whoever wants to watch it, and then kind of like listen with us and comment or whatever.
Join the conversation.
Hey, we're called the Small Screen Society. That sounds like like a club kind of deal.
Very true. It's very true.
Like an academic kind of thing.
Right.
We can make pins.
Very
we can make
true.
Pins for club members, for society members.
We will have merch for society members.
I'm saying our logo in gold, like bing, like that's the kind of thing I'm thinking.
Society members will have merch.
Get merch. I think it's a great thing.
We can make
a lot of perks. A lot of perks.
For being a part of society.
A lot of perks. Hey, boxes. Like you can become a society member and you get your box. You get maybe like a notebook. Yep. You get a pin. You get some pencils. Yeah, the notebook
to write down notes about the movie you're watching while you're watching.
Right. So you can come and discuss with us.
Photo of us. The whole nine.
Yeah, a book. Yeah, you could have a fucking. We can make our own classic blockbuster case with the three of us.
And eventually, when we do the book clubs live on Twitch, people can comment and literally be part of the discussion with us. So we can read the questions, read the comments, and then kind of discuss it out loud with everybody. But that's a future thing. Yeah. Good idea. Let's keep going.
Write that down. Producer, write that down.
He's not here. He's not working. He's not.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he had school work to do.
He's like, I have a paper.
10-page paper, yeah, right.
Due tomorrow? You've been procrastinating your 10-page paper? Yeah. So, okay, good. I thought you were doing well in school.
That thing ain't due until 11:59. He had plenty of time to do it. Plenty of time to binge that thing together tonight.
Drink a Monster tomorrow morning, and you can get it done.
Start click-clacking, baby. Start click-clacking.
All right, guys. I say we move on now to our action. See, we just had a mindful conversation. Now let's go. Now we're going to lean towards mindless. So I think we should move on to Red Notice now. Let's take a look at Red Notice for our Netflix review. All right, so here we go. Red Notice stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds, a trinity of celebrity dumb, premiering their latest movie, Red Notice, on Netflix. Not only #1, but it's supposedly the biggest Netflix movie premiere ever. And serving as a testament that despite this horrible Rotten Tomato score for this movie, star power still does exist. Mm-hmm. In a time where we think that the only thing that gets viewers is characters, I think these three actors are showing you that no, celebrity is still real and people will come to see just because you're in it. Now, Red Notice.
92%, just before you start that. 35% fans. I mean, 35% Rotten Tomato score, 92% fan score.
So
that tells you everything that you need to know right now.
Let's stop investing in that damn Rotten Tomato score.
I'm going to bring it up in another episode, maybe at the end of this episode or another episode, but there's something that I actually do want to discuss, and that's how Rotten Tomatoes does the scoring and how I think at this point I do not want to use it.
I would agree. There needs to be a new rubric.
I'm done with Rotten Tomatoes. I think that at this point now,
why we have to use the small screen society score.
Agreed.
The small screen society score will tell you what the movie's at.
Correct.
All right. So here we go. Red Notice, starring those three actors who are super famous. What we have here is a classic thief movie. We have a cop going after one of the world's most decadent, mouthy thieves on Earth, played by Ryan Reynolds, who is competing with AKA Deadpool. He's Deadpool in every movie. He's Deadpool in every movie. It's his career. It's his meal ticket. Do it until everyone gets tired of it. You have Gal Gadot, who is playing also an international thief who is in competition with Ryan Reynolds' character as they are trying to steal the 3 glorious eggs of Cleopatra. And we all like a good MacGuffin. And The Rock is having to team up with Ryan Reynolds' character to get the eggs before Gal Gadot can, because his name is on the line. He's an FBI agent.
He's a profiler.
Profiler who's been framed by Gal Gadot's character, and in order to clear his name, he has to get the eggs first, so that he can arrest Gal Gadot. You know what, Ramel? We're gonna do it reverse. How about you go first on this one? You go.
Listen, man. You all know me. I'm a big fan of The Rock.
Yes.
Great man.
Favorite wrestler. Great actor to me, in my opinion. Angelo, great shirt.
Thank you. It's very Hollywood.
I usually will watch everything that he does just because I like him. and I think that he's just like a good person. I feel like he's outside of the cameras like a good guy. So like he's the type of guy that like I feel like I should support regardless. He's already a multi-millionaire, but I'm gonna support him anyway.
But you just described superstar. You just described celebrity.
Yeah. So
or movie star.
Right.
I'm gonna buy his tequila.
Yeah.
I'm gonna the ice cream that he promotes during the holidays. Always. Buy that.
You love the whole him, right. Therefore you will watch whatever he's in. Keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going into that, I kind of, when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, this looks okay. But I wasn't really expecting, because again, I've also seen Skyscraper, I've seen San Andreas, I've seen fucking the movie with the fucking giant Rampage. So I've seen these movies that are not great. I've seen Baywatch. That was fucking terrible. So,
Code, isn't he like what's the movie where he's like the Tooth Fairy?
I've seen that. I think it's literally just Tooth Fairy. So
they're not good. Some of them aren't.
So good. I start the movie and I go, okay, first like 10-15 minutes, this is not good. This is just like I know this is going to be a bad movie. Like I was like, this is not good. I get a little further into it. Ryan Reynolds does his funny quips and bits. So I'm like, okay, I like Ryan Reynolds. I like Gal Gadot. I think she's hot. And I think she's a good actress sometimes. So she's also intriguing me a little bit in this movie. So as the movie's going on, I'm going,
do I?
By like halfway, maybe towards the end, I'm like, do I like this movie? Because like I was confused at like points in the movie whether or not I hated it, whether or not I didn't.
Okay.
And like again, like they get me with a little bit of the history. They throw in like the tank thing with all the fucking treasures in Argentina that for Hitler and shit. Cool. Like I like that type of shit. So all right, and then all of a sudden, then at the end, you get that flip of The Rock's character, and you go, "Oh shit, I like the movie." So it's just there. I'm not going to sit here and give you little details because the movie is just kind of self-explanatory. It's just like action and stealing and like plans. And then like the end, but overall, it wasn't that bad. It started a little rough, a little choppy, but by the end, I'm like, you know what? I don't hate it, and I think I may possibly watch this again at some point.
Wow. Okay. I
wouldn't go that far.
If it's on like TBS or something, and I'm just like dicking around eating dinner, and it's on, I'm not gonna fucking turn it off.
No, all right, I'll give you that. FICO score.
Okay. I loved it. I thought the movie was great. from beginning to fucking end, I loved it.
No, you like that. You love that Lindsay Lohan movie. I don't trust your word.
That movie was fucking brilliant, and you don't talk an ill word about it.
What was the name of that movie?
I don't know. Blue Foam.
I killed myself in blue. I don't know. The movie's brilliant. Okay, shit. No one saw that twist coming. Anyway, this movie.
I did not see this twist.
You knew where this was going as soon as you put it on. It's like, all right, Rock's gonna do his big tough guy thing, but he can still be funny. Ryan Reynolds has chemistry with everybody. As long as he just does the Deadpool, the Deadpool bit, it's great.
Here's the thing: he's been doing the Deadpool bit since before Deadpool. It's just that Deadpool became so big
Van Wilder
that then people associate that banter that he does as he's being Deadpool, but that's just Ryan Reynolds.
But the thing is, Marvel Comics was doing Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool before Ryan Reynolds, because in the comic books, when someone asks, "What do you look like under that mask?" he says, "I look like a chewed up version of Ryan Reynolds."
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's beautiful. So as long as he does that bit, it's good. Listen, this movie was National Treasure meets. That's all I really got for you. It's basically National Treasure with some fun shit going on in it. Listen, like halfway through it, I was like, this is kind of reminding me of a better version of The Rundown.
Yeah, you're right.
Only
you're
Ryan
right.
Reynolds is a really good Sean William Scott, and Gal Gadot is better. God, I hate that I can't think of her name.
You keep going, and I'll find it.
Yeah,
no producer.
I mean, just we need a producer. Yeah, I really love the movie from beginning to end.
Rosario Dawson,
the little jokes in it, and then Rosario Dawson, I love her. She's great. But so Gal Gadot, a better version of her in this movie. I really liked it, man. It doesn't take much. Just give me some jokes, give me some action. Terrible plot points. I'm all about it. But again, the twist at the end with the Rock. See, it made everything worth it. You say that you might not watch it again. I'll watch this damn movie twice more on Netflix. I might fall asleep to it tonight. That's how good it was in my opinion.
It's a movie.
TBS, TNT.
It is a movie that I could fall asleep to. You are right. Pop it on, just film. Like it's at night. I'm laying down until I doze off. It's just a good.
How low the bar has fallen.
And I'm good with telling you that it was a fantastic film for me. Action packed, fun, just a fun time.
Very good, very good film. Gab.
Look, God. First of all, extremely predictable.
100%.
Everything
100%.
that happens in this movie, you can see when they're underneath the stadium. They're gonna have to fight the bull. Yeah. Someone's gonna have the bull. That's why they're there. When they go to prison, we know there's gonna be a breakout scene. They're when they go to the vault, and then we have to do that 3-minute history lesson about the car. There's gonna be a car chase sequence in 5 or 10 minutes. So this whole thing is so effing predictable from the beginning to end, except the twist.
I was gonna say, hold your horses. Twist
was good
because I don't think anybody was expecting that.
No one was expecting.
They did a really good job of masking that.
They did because a lot of the predictability and the things that were cheap in the movie, in my opinion, tied into the twist, which I thought. And you just when I thought you couldn't get any dumber, you go and do this and totally redeem yourself. Because there was a lot of those moments that I had to give the points back because I was like, oh man, it was tied to your pretty decent twist. Right. The Netflix, I appreciate that you guys can do high.
Back up a little bit from your mic.
Sorry, I am a loudspeaker.
He's too excited.
Forgive me. Netflix, I appreciate that you guys can do very wide scope movies for a small budget. Argentina was clearly a stage, but I appreciate you. I don't even know if we were actually ever in Rome or any of those cities. Those could have just been shots, and all of that was stages.
The scene in Argentina cracked me up because they're arguing over the fact that like they're at the wrong place. And then how they discover that they're there is like they drop like something and it sounds hard on the ground. But then like to dig to get to the thing, it's like 4 specks of dirt. So then it's like you didn't know you were standing on a hard surface, not just like dirt and grass. It was you would feel it. You would feel it. If you drop something and it sounds clanky, you definitely felt the ground.
Yes.
It's just like
you could tell when you're walking on like compacted.
They brushed off the dirt like they brushed off the dirt like they do in old movies with library books, and they just go like that,
literally
like that.
Exactly.
All right, sorry, continue.
Man, there's so much in this movie that's like, but I will say this movie's not for us.
No.
This is a movie where, as I'm watching this, I'm only picturing myself seeing it in a theater in Venezuela and thinking the audience would fucking love this.
Love it.
Would eat this shit up. Like this is just meant to be a good time.
Good time.
And it succeeds at being a good time. The humor is on point. For that light humor. The action's fine. There's enough of that bling stuff that people like, that flashiness. The ending sets up the possible like franchise sequel if they want to do it.
Do it. Do it all. Give me 5.
This movie, like aside from the twist, I thought this whole movie was fucking trash. But how can I pinch a hot loaf on it when it succeeds at exactly what it's setting out to do?
Right.
It knows what it wants to be, and it was it. So, like, for me, I'm just like, I never want to see this shit. I literally pressed pause on it and was like, have a seat, girlfriend. I'm going to bed. I'll finish you in the morning.
Wow.
I couldn't get through it in one sitting because I know it's just not for me, but what it sets out to do, it does fantastically. Right. The Rock knows his market. He knows his thing.
The Rock at this point is global, right? So
it's global.
It doesn't. He doesn't have to do anything high acting class fucking shit. He can continue to do the gimmicky Rock shit. It doesn't matter. He's going to continue to make millions and millions of dollars because he's the Rock at this point.
You go for the Rock. You go for the Rock experience. You go to see him do badass shit.
Right.
That's why you go to see the Rock. Yeah. He's a movie star, and like you'll eat up whatever he does. And I think, to be honest with you, I'm almost kind of refreshed that we still have an action star like that.
Right. Yeah. Like a Schwarzenegger.
Classic.
Like a Schwarzenegger.
Like a Schwarzenegger
type, exactly.
Stallone, like that's what he is. Like that's kind of like the blueprint of his career in a way as a movie star. So I'm like, that's I guess I'll start with the scores since the lowest. I give this movie a 5 out of 10, and the 5 is just for that twist because that was a good twist. You got me. Okay. So I give this movie a 5 out of 10. FICO score.
A 5, man.
This is a 5 out of 10. And don't you dare seek revenge on a future review.
Spider-Man Nowhere Home 2.
Nowhere Home.
Book it. Whatever the hell it's called. 2.
You're drunk. Give your score.
8. Another riveting 8 is great. Fun time. I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
I'm gonna go 7. 7 out of 10.
7, mediocre. Got it. Okay, moving
7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10.
This is it's funny because we're going to talk about the third thing now. This was the hardest thing for me to watch.
Agreed.
What we're about to talk about.
Agreed.
You almost didn't make it through it. Honestly, almost
it. You know what?
Wasn't good.
We said a while back, like we've been reviewing things and giving such good scores that we really are missing something that's shitty. And you know what? Ask and you will receive. Tiger King 2, guys. We're our first actual locked in segment.
Yep. This is where the graphic comes in. Locked in segment.
Locked in segment, folks. Yep. And I
got
still
the lock
I don't
right
know
here.
why I'm not focused. He has a lock right there. Guys, before we dig into the review of the first episode, for people who are first tuning in, Locked In is a segment here at the Small Screen Society where we take a show, we watch the first episode, maybe 2, depending on what the deal is. But for this case, we watch the first episode to determine if we are locked in for the rest of the season and if we will continue to watch it from this point forward and if it will earn on the Small Screen Society a season finale review. Mm-hmm. So now we get to vote here because it's a 2 to 3, right? 2 to 3?
2 to 3.
2 to 3 wins.
2 out of 3, yep.
So 2 to 3 wins. Fico, kick us off. Are you locked in or are you not locked in?
Can I give a quick little, this is where I'm at?
Yeah, sure.
That first episode, how long was that first episode? Like 47 minutes?
45 minutes.
42 of it was absolute trash. Until we get to the end, and we're going to go on a wild goose chase to find out if Carol Baskins killed her husband. Baby, I'm locked in.
Son of a bitch.
5 episodes, I can deal with it. I can deal with it for 5 episodes just to see what ridiculous shit they're going to pull up. The one detective said that Joe had good evidence. Joe had good evidence. Shouldn't even be in a sentence. I want to know how crazy this is going to get. 5 episodes, I could deal with it. Locked in.
Fico's locked in. Ramel, Your deliberation, are you locked in or are you not locked in for Tiger King 2?
I cared about Joe Exotic when life was at its lowest. I had no job. I was stuck in my apartment. I was in crippling debt. That's when I cared about Joe Exotic. I am no longer suffering those things. I am a normal human being, and this does not concern me whatsoever. I could care less about this fucking piece of shit. Keep him in jail. I'm not locked in.
Not locked in. Not locked in. We have 1 vote locked in, 1 vote not locked in, ladies and gentlemen. I guess I'll give the tiebreaker. Where's Tyra Banks? I need my photos in my hands and my models before me. When it comes to Tiger King 2, I am...
Hold on.
Too close again?
Close.
Sorry.
Look, okay, so when you look at the mic, when you look at your mic levels, if you see red, back up. Yes.
You did. I'm a loudspeaker.
You're like dialogue. You're too close, man. You're too close.
From there, so, you're good. You're good from there.
Clearly, I'm really emotional and excited about this.
Correct.
Guys, Ramel, I can only echo your sentiments. As I'm watching this, as I started with a smile on my face, it immediately went.
That's exactly
how I felt watching. My smile was just like...
slowly
drooping away. I started to realize the only
bad.
reason America or the world gave any shits was because the world was ending outside our doors.
Correct.
When it comes to Tiger King 2, I am not locked in.
I could not be.
I could care less about this
more
shit.
I couldn't be more.
I'm telling you,
not locked in.
That thing was a life vest when we were at our darkest.
Literally, yes.
And you know what? The sun is shining again. Like we're going
out.
out.
We're out.
Lives. We're living our lives. Joe Exotic isn't, but like that.
He go.
This I'm not. Locked in. Let's break it down, Fico. Tell us why you're locked in for this shit.
I'm literally 44 minutes of this thing was garbage. Like honestly, one, it didn't help that I got 15 minutes into episode 2 of the first season, not realizing that I was watching the wrong thing. What the fuck was that a glitch?
I don't know what it was, but I hit play and it started playing like the episode where he's doing like a music video. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Why is he? I thought he was in jail. And then I look and it's fucking episode.
I'm like, did they just reuse footage?
Yeah. Jesus.
And like, and then they got the reporter guy back, and then the guy lost his. I'm like, okay. So I got through that, and like we start going through this abomination of a show. It's like you start bringing up like what he was doing as a kid. His father sucked. His brother's jealous of him clearly, and he wants him dead. A bunch of that garbage, and it's like the fat guy on the jet skis at some dude's house with their
his boyfriend who clearly doesn't give a shit about him, or his husband or whatever the hell he is,
ex-husband.
Clearly doesn't give a shit about him.
That guy
making a makeup line called like Tiger's Taint or something like that.
Like what was it tail brightener?
No, it was for it wasn't even asshole bleach thing.
It's it was anal bleach.
No,
and then. No,
I'm not doing
the guy who's trying to actually get him a pardon. Like, what do you spend your money on? Like World of Hunger or something, man? Like, what you're getting a Cadillac, like painted over to look like Joe Exotic?
When they go to the Trump rally, and Trumpers are telling them to leave because that's trash.
Like it's asinine. Yeah, we're not a political podcast.
That like the episode, nothing here was interesting.
And then even Joe Exotic himself is like, that was a dumb idea. Like they should have done that.
Holy shit, man!
Again, I don't care about Joe as much as I really like the idea of it's going to be one of those internet people possibly breaking a case things. Like I'm into that. Like that like 2020 shit. I'm into that.
You
don't have to give me any of Joe.
Here's the thing.
There's an article.
If there was, so I agree with you, Angelo, that to me the more interesting story here is finding out if she killed the husband and where the body is. Right. That's the only actually interesting part about this.
Love me a good
now,
murder mystery.
The only thing about that is I have not seen or heard of any news articles or new outlets say that they found out what happened. So because of
this is going to turn into the Curse of Oak
correct.
Island.
So because of that, I know going into this that by the end of these 5 episodes, there will be nothing new and nothing of interest because it's going to be the same shit.
Like I just said, I gave the Curse of Oak Island. I gave that 3 seasons, easy. Just before I realized there's nothing on that fucking island.
Yeah.
We're wasting your money. I watched that Hunting Hitler show on Discovery. It was pretty obvious. You ain't gonna find nothing. So I'll give Joe Exotic number 2. I'll give it 5 episodes.
All right.
I will give it to it because I've given more to less. So
we will not. We will not review it here, but
it didn't earn a finale.
But we will have you
between us.
We will have you at least just give us a score for you personally at the end of your episodes.
Your experience
because we don't want to.
It'll be a quick segment
because you are a part of the podcast, and we have to give us all a voice. And even though we're not going to officially discuss it, we should at least give anybody out there who's going to make the mistake of watching it, let them understand what's going to happen.
Let me make the mistake for y'all. Just hold back.
If you are willing to take the bullet,
the dirty work here.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a hero. Hero say.
Well, guys, that does it for us this week. Next week there is a full plate.
Yes.
Very full.
Very full.
I'm pretty sure there's 4 projects that's on the schedule that we're going to be discussing. King Richard comes out this Friday that you'll be able to stream.
That's the Venus and Serena Williams with Will Smith movie, right?
One that's already getting Will Smith Oscar buzz. Yeah. We're going to have another locked in segment for Cowboy Bebop, and it already looks like we know how it's going to go. We have the premiere of Wheel of Time. It's a new fantasy series for Amazon.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a locked in segment for that, and then if we can, we should go to theaters to support Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's supposed to actually be really good.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, why did they make a new Ghostbusters? Just enlighten me. I'm going to see it because I love Paul Rudd.
I understand that the director.
I think he's the only.
I think that the director is actually the son of the original director for the first 2 movies.
Okay.
I also think.
And
it's good. It's a good way to bring this whole thing back because I think because the girl version was so botched, it didn't do well at all. So I feel like they kind of have the opportunity to reboot it and redo it. A different way, and if you're going to do it this way, and how they should have done it the whole time instead of just trying to do something that's forced,
crazy and wild-eyed, right?
And we're in the age of franchises, so if you can take Ghostbusters and revive it and make a franchise out of it, take your best bet. Of course, it's coming out now. I hope it doesn't get overshadowed by the No Way Home stuff, but we'll see. We'll go to the theater and take.
So it's 1 movie and then 2 premiere episodes for 2 seasons for shows,
and 1 streamed movie.
And 1 streamed movie, which is the King Richard. Gotcha.
King Richard.
Okay. I mean, so it's basically 3 movies because the 2 shows are an hour, 2 hours together. So
yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely see Ghostbusters in theaters. Gab, we can go see it in IMAX.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, boys. Cool. Well done. Let's get after it and come back next week. Come back strong. Hopefully, no technical difficulties.
All right.
That's right.
Until next
week. Hopefully,
we'll
have a producer.
Peace out, boys.